Alright, so the supplies you'll need for this project is your Hexaflexagon blank pattern, glue stick, some colored pencils, a normal pencil, and some scissors. Now your Hexaflexagon pattern will probably look different than mine. Not only is yours not cut out already, but all of your patterns probably are facing the same way. Like these two are opposites symmetrically of each other, and that sort of causes problems when you're trying to follow the instructions. So I just switched them around. Okay, so what you need to do to start is cut out one of these strips of triangles. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Go ahead and cut yours out as well. Okay, I gave you guys quite a few, or at least 4, of these patterns because this is a tough project, so if you need to try again, you've got a couple different chances. Or if you just want to make one for fun. So turn your strip of triangles so that it looks like this. And I'm actually going to move some things out of the way. Alright, so what we're going to do to start is, I'm going to have you make folds along each of these lines. So the direction of the fold needs to be like this. You'll take one triangle and put it over top the other triangle. Just like this. And then we'll unfold it. So the fold should open up. And what that means is the rest of these are going to be sort of done in the same way. And you're gonna unfold each of them as you go because the more permanent folding, that's gonna come later. So go ahead and do this really quickly on your own. And then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, so the tutorial that I watched for this didn't necessarily explain why we make those folds to begin with, but my theory is that it makes it easier to fold as we continue. So the next step we need to do is going to be, we're going to take our third fold and refold it. So what does that mean? If this line is our first fold and this is our second, then this is our third right here. So that means we're just going to fold it down like so. All right, perfect. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to refold this fold right down here. So let me just consult my tutorial to make sure that I'm correct, and I will make that fold with you in a sec. Okay, so for this fold, we are going to make it so that it goes over our hexaflexagon like this. The fold is gonna come up. So we'll be able to see those printed lines on top. The next thing we need to do now is we've got a layer of 2 triangles right here. There's this one, and hiding underneath is this other one. We need to put this underneath one in the front so it can sort of have the spotlight. So we're just gonna do something like this. Okay, so now our first triangle is in the front, and then that other triangle is behind it. Okay, the last thing we need to do is we need to get this outside triangle to come in like this, and might have to refold that one, but then we need to make it stay. So this is where your glue stick will come in. Make sure you get glue to the edges of this triangle, and we're gonna glue it down. And that's all you'll need your glue stick for, so you can put that away. Okay, now that we have that glued down, it should, since it's a glue stick, it should be sticky enough for now for us to work with this, but the next step that we have doesn't really require much folding. We are going to now decorate this front side of our hexaflexagon. So to decorate it, you will need your colored pencils. You can do any number of different designs that you'd like, but just so you know, any design you do may get flipped inside out. that might not make sense, but what I mean is if you have something near the center in your design here, it may end up near one of the other corners as we fold this and unfold it. So try to make a design that you think could work no matter where the center is, kind of like this. Try to follow the geometry or the already folded lines of your hexaflexagon and sort of like copy or match those lines on your own. So I'm going to go through this really quick. You can copy my design if you wish, but I encourage you to come up with your own. Okay, so there's my design. I put flames on it because flames are always cool. That's a little heat joke for you guys. Okay, the next thing we need to do is flip your hexaflexagon over and make another design. All right, there we have our second design. So the next thing we're going to do is this. I'd like you guys to try to find the pockets on your hexaflexagon. That's what I mean is this. On each of your sides, this side or this side, there should be a little pocket that you can sort of put your finger into like this. Should be one 2 triangles away and then 2 triangles away from that. There's gonna be another. So to move forward with this design, what I need you to do is find where those pockets form. The opening of the pocket we'll refer to as a seam. So right here, the opening of the pocket, this line is the seam line. So there's another seam line right here and another one, oops, right here. We are going to fold those down like this. So, or maybe another way to put it is we're gonna pinch them down like this. So I'll pinch down one right here and find another one and pinch this one down, just like this. And then the third one sort of automatically pinches when you do that, but I'll give it another crease just to make it solid and really try to crease those nicely so that they fold down easier in the future. But once you pinch all 3 of those, you should get a sort of a Y shape like this. Sort of a 3-pronged shape. Now, in the center of your 3-pronged shape is going to be an opening. So with your fingernail, kind of try to pry that open and pull it apart, and you'll have a secret surprise 3rd side to your hexaflexagon. Now, I have to admit, I'm not sure how the math or the geometry works out so that there's 3 sides to this 2D piece of paper. I think it has to do with the folding, but it's very interesting, at least I think. So on this last side, we're going to make a final design. So I did hot and cold. I've got my snow and my fire. So I think this last one is going to be an electric theme, but you can do whatever you like. All right, here we go. All right, there's my electricity design. So now we're gonna do the same thing. Find those pockets. Got one here, and then 2 triangles away. Got one here, and excuse me, had to sneeze. All right, got one here. So those are called our seam lines, remember? So we're gonna need to pinch those down, each one of those. So pinching one down here, crease that nicely, and then the other one here, and that 3rd one needs a little extra crease so that it stays down. Okay, now we've got our Y shape, and if we go to the center, we should be able to open it up, and there's our flame design. Now, if you guys remember, originally the sort of the base of the fire that is now here was on the outside of my hexagon, and the flames were pointing inward, but now they're pointing a different direction. So keep unfolding this by pinching down those corners or those seam lines, and you'll get to your different designs. Like my snowflake here is the same as when I drew it, and my electricity is the same. And as I keep going, keep pinching those down, I think you'll find that that first design you did, that might be the only one that gets sort of switched up. But this is sort of a fun fidget toy. You can just fold and unfold and refold. I have to tell you though, this is my third time making one of these. My first two are right here. They don't look too great, and it took me a while to figure out exactly how they work. They don't unfold quite as well as I would hope. So if yours is sort of like this and doesn't work quite as well, don't worry too much about it. Just keep trying and practicing. Maybe watch this video one more time to see if you can get something that you're happy with. That's the reason I gave you more than one of those strips of triangles to use. All right, that's the end of our project for this time. If you'd like to turn this in, you can write your name somewhere on it and put your grade on there as well. But I would love it for you guys to keep these at home so that you have, I don't know, just something to entertain yourself with. If you turn it in by taking a picture, I'd love to see each of your designs in the picture, so send 3 pictures in total. Or, if it would be easier, you could have someone take a video of you cycling through each of your designs. That would be very interesting to see on my end as well. All right, thanks so much for joining me, and I'm gonna be playing with this for a couple more minutes on my own. So, I'll talk to you guys next week. Goodbye.